And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is March 1st, the Silver Tournament. And we are getting underway and going to start seeing these picks come out. I am Barnaby Jones, and my caster will be Pyrotechnics today.
What's going on, Barnaby?
Hola, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
We will be seeing the first band coming out being the Scion, and the second band coming out for the red team being Yasau, followed by a LeBlanc.
We're getting right into this. These guys are way too quick. We didn't even get a chance to introduce them.
I know, right? And then we will be seeing the Cassidy band coming out also. That frog in earlier proves Cassidy is still band-worthy.
Yeah, they actually got to pick them twice today in LCS, which makes no sense at all.
Some people started to think he wasn't really worth ban anymore, and they proved that. Yeah, they proved that, that's for sure.
You know, they actually buffed him on the PvE right now.
Oh yeah, well his W, they're trying to make him this melee assassin, which he should have been the whole time. But anyway, going back onwards here, we will be seeing the Thresh band out, and then the soul of the man he stole, the Lucian, will be the final ban of the game.
100% wife steal.
Wife steal.
Alright, so all the bans are done, but we do have, now that we haven't really introduced them, but we do have up at the top of the stream, our two teams are, of course, Barenaked, Linas, and Pig Gets Carried by Potato. Some very creative names. One, an homage to a classic 90s alternative band. The other, I have no idea.
There they go. It's LK Gets Carried by Potato.
Yeah. Those first picks, though, what do we got here? It looks like, did he end up locking the Wukong? He did.
He does lock in that monkey, followed by a Vi on Master Taz, and Dr. Carey will be picking up a Leona. And then, coming out for the blue team, we will be seeing the Jinx lock in and a hover on the Gragas right now.
Yeah, pretty much to be expected. These are all the very commonly seen champions we don't really have to be surprised by. You know, Jinx is still a very popular AD carry. Leona pretty much picked in almost more than anybody but Thresh, I think. Those are the two most picked champions in NA.
Yeah,
and Vi, of course, ban-worthy as well.
Yeah, these are all pretty high ban champions that you do see come out quite a bit. We're going to see LK17 right now floating over Twitch Caitlyn, and he will be locking in that Caitlyn, and we're going to watch Squirtle, as his name would be, Squirtle with an H instead. He will be hovering over Barenaked, the Crocodile of Hell.
Yeah, he's pretty scary, especially that new skin of his. Yeah, Caitlyn also a good pick against Jinx. It's sort of a skill matchup in the bot lane, but Caitlyn does have the zoning potential, and that is going to be a little bit troubling for Jinx if they can't get their combos off. The bot lane support is going to be very specific. They're gonna have to make sure that they can stop Caitlyn's poke and the all-in potential from Leo. That's a really good combo.
Yeah, so we are going to be seeing those come out. We will be seeing the Lulu getting hovered over by I Love Penis, LOL. Didn't even realize what his name was until I was halfway reading that one.
You know, I'm not sure how we allow some of these names into the tournament, but I'm really happy that we got to hear you say that on air.
I Love Penis, LOL, quote by Barnaby Jones of the day. And then we will be seeing Floppy Pancakes, and I almost said Floppy Penis there too, coming out picking the Cassock. So then we will be watching the Ziggs as the final pickup.
Yeah, Lulu and Kha'Zix are also fairly common picks, although we've seen Lulu mid a lot lately. It could almost be a support Gragas and a Lulu mid, but I'm still thinking it's going to be the opposite. Ziggs is also a fantastic pickup. He's another one of those champions that, despite a few nerfs recently, still maintains a large-scale presence in the mid lane.
It's always going to be that way. He's basically, now that assassins have been basically nerfed into, not I want to say an oblivion, but they've been nerfed quite a bit, that it allows other champions like Vel'Koz and Ziggs and Kassadin's still kind of high mobility, but champions that aren't really high mobility, it is giving them back a place in the game to start doing what they need to do.
Poke and kite, man. That's what you got. And we've seen a lot of really popular champions doing that lately. And, you know, the Assassins are what you counterpick to it, but that really wasn't the focus of both these teams. They kind of emphasized their bot lane and jungle strengths early on. And, yeah, I'm excited to see this matchup. It's a good one. These two teams, I think we've seen them a couple of times in a few of our leagues, and let's see what they can do.
Yes, we are. And as they all are sitting here laughing about the guy's name, hopefully we will get to see I Love Penis make some very good plays, make them quite fantastical.
I think he's going to get some armor penetration.
I bet you he will get some armor penetration. I'll apply some of that good old thick armor penetration that is needed.
Barnaby, you know how to make me incredibly uncomfortable every single time we cast, and I love you for it.
That is my job as it is needed to be.
I used to be the raunchy guy in the conversations, but you've really just stolen my thunder at this point. So, anyways, looks like we're still about a minute and a half on the delay timer. Let's get some final thoughts on this one. What do you think in each lane?
You're gonna see Lulu here. She has that quite huge expensive lot of poke, especially now with that new spell thief edge, applying the extra 10 damage, the 5 AP to go with it, and getting gold every time you do that. And every time one of those little bullshit pix bolt things hit, she's getting from the passive, she gets gold for that also. So after the auto attack, she'll get some gold, and then when the little passive hits too, that's gold also. And the reason that's incorporated like that is because of the way the passive is designed. If a minion is actually between you and the person you're attacking, those bolts will hit that minion, so they do count it as a whole separate spell. So that will be something interesting to see with her gold. If Kha'Zix can really make himself well known early game, that might be part of the problem going on here too. Since we will be seeing the summoners, he will be jungle with the Wukong top, so that'll be something interesting. But then you've also got Vi on the other end, where she's just a monster with that Vault Breaker and being able to just get right in without a lot of ways to stop her in general, unless you have a good form of CC. But Lulu doesn't have any form to stop that vault. She has the slow, but the slow doesn't get reduced because of slow. So
yeah, the jungle's going to be kind of interesting. I think Kha'Zix is a very good early game jungle. He's got a lot of potential early on, and if he starts getting kills, he will snowball really, really hard. Vi, on the other hand, has a bit of a slower clear time, and she's useful before 6, but not incredibly effective until she gets Assault and Battery. So I'm expecting a slower, more methodical game, Poke and Kite out of Potato, and I think Barenaked and Linas are going to be looking for more of a snowballing comp that they want to get out rolling really quickly with some kills. They'll be hunting for first blood.
My girlfriend wanted something slow and methodical also, but 10 seconds later, and I had to go sit in the corner and cry. But
sometimes you can't live up to expectations.
We are getting into the game though, so I guess we can do what everyone else likes in that bullshit game.
That's the best part, man. What are you talking about? Hashtag Skip War Best War. Let's do it.
No, hashtag Braun plays. Braun plays. Actually, it should be changed to now hashtag Wicked Carry, please.
You're really happy because Alliance won today, aren't you?
Hey, they beat Rawcat, okay? You knock it off.
They did beat Rocket. They did good. They did really good.
When they are, second place, because they're going to be Gambit today, but in overall record, Gambit will be higher. They're still going to that tournament, and then when they go and beat TSM, I can be like, booyah, told you.
Wait a minute. Why do I feel like you're distracting from Skin War Best War?
I am not doing that. How dare you?
I'm gonna start without you, man.
I'm fine. Go ahead.
Barenaked Linas, we've got Vandal Gragas. That is a skin that I like to see. The barrel roll changes are pretty cool because he throws a keg. Mecha Kha'Zix, also incredibly terrifying. But we have Vanilla Lulu, Wukong, and Jinx. And then on the other side, Potato is going to rock the Iron Solari Leona as well as Safari Kate and Renoir's Renekton. So with 3 skins to 2, it looks like Potato's going to win this one. But will that be enough to carry them to victory?
You are not allowed to call her Lulu anymore. You must refer to her as Penis. Or I Love Penis are the only 2 acceptable answers of the Lulu right now.
I Love Penis LOL and Floppy Pancake. These names are just incredibly creative.
Yes, and Vaporizer 53.
Mm-hmm. That one's pretty good too. When they've got numbers in the name.
And then we got Fred.
Good. Oh, that's what you're talking about with the Squirtle.
Squirtle.
It just makes me feel dirty to say.
I just squirtled everywhere.
There's also Dr. Carey, LK17, Aesthetic Lol. No, these are pretty good. And Frederick, the lead speak Frederick is actually pretty nice. I like to see that used.
We're just gonna call him Fred.
Yeah, Fred's good. And I'm not even gonna try to pronounce Jinx's name.
I would, but that might sound like other words that I'm not allowed to say unless we're in private.
Oh, Barnaby. You always know how to get me. All right, well, the game's just about started. Everyone's at about 100%, and they're loading up into this. So we discussed the lanes a little bit, especially in the top between Lulu and their support. The other support's going to be Leona, of course. So I really think that Caitlyn Leona is a nice combination. But the problem is Leona is forcing an all-in scenario most of the time, thanks to her Zenith Blades, and she has to engage head-on. Whereas Jinx can kite and poke pretty well up against the Leona, and so can Lulu. So even though Kate outranges everyone in that bot lane, there's still going to be some trouble if they try to, really deal a lot of damage. And I think they're going to be dependent on their jungler to really get those kills. Master Taz is going to be looking for that bot lane. Mid should be covered because the Ziggs versus Gragas lane is, again, very much a skill matchup. And on the top, I think I'm actually going to have to give this one to Squirtle. Renekton ought to be able to deal with Wukong.
He should, but then sometimes you just run into that really good Wukong player, so that's something to worry about. Lulu opting to take the ancient coin over the spell thief, so she's just gonna want the free gold and everything. Red team obviously knew Gragas was there. Ziggs hits him with the bomb, gets rid of him. But something interesting here. Leona's gonna take the relic shield. I would have actually taken Doran's shield in this situation, because you're going against Jinx and you're going against Lulu, both primarily auto attackers. I mean, Lulu has the glitter lance, but she's relatively known for doing that auto attack. And with the Doran's shield and taking the mastery passives of the block, you actually relatively ignore everything Lulu does until about level 3, when her passive gets buffed again, and so missing out, and she's still going to take a little bit of free damage, where if she took the Doran shield, she would essentially be taking nothing from Lulu from auto-attacking.
Yeah, but we also, we also see that she's going to go for the Relic Shield. I mean, I think that the Relic Shield is a good choice if you want to be aggro, because you can get up there and farm minions that your carry may not be able to get to and become a presence in the front line, and either force you to get attacked, which causes the AD carry and the support to be focusing you, possibly missing out on farm. And you can get a little bit more back, and that shield buff is really, really going to help out. So we're going to see Dr. Carry and LK17 popping on down to the bot lane after assisting Vi with that blue buff, and laning phase begins.
Yes, it does, as we are going to watch the fighting be gone. Vi is still dealing with blue, and Kha'Zix's already moving onwards to his race.
Yeah, now Kha'Zix, he's going to clear really, really fast compared to Vi. We already went over that. And, identical jungle items, obviously. I wouldn't be surprised to see an Elder Lizard Spirit on him to go for a lot of that early damage and aggression. And I think as soon as he clears this red buff, he's either going to go for the golems and then straight to bot, or straight to bot after that and attempt a level 2 or 3. So he's going to be a scary presence if LK17 and Dr. Carry really push this lane as far up as they are. And they're getting pretty aggro. They are confident because they can shove this lane. They are a better poke comp thanks to Caitlyn's range.
Yeah,
but it's still a problem if Kha'Zix decides to show his bug face.
His bug face.
That's a scary bug from the Void, man.
That's a new one. Bug face. I don't think he's from the Void. I thought they said he's from space.
Well, the Void, space, Lore's pretty cool, but I don't remember all of it. I'm pretty sure Kha'Zix is from the Void, though.
An evil bug of evilness. We'll just put him as that.
Well, he does leap on and delete people's faces, so that is kind of, I suppose, the definition of evil? I don't know. Top lane gank, Master Taz decides to go up and try to bait Vaporizer out of it, but doesn't fall for that one, and now Kha'Zix is going to rotate up towards the top lane himself. Mid lane staying pretty even, though.
Which is expected here. Vi is probably going to look like coming in for a gank right now on the mid lane, and she will just run away.
Yeah, she backed off of that one. I think she noticed that Gragas started to back away and didn't end up using the Vault Breaker, and instead is just going to clear minion waves, or clear wraiths. And, down on the bot, LK is pushed pretty far up here, but it's so far not having a problem. It's not really being a problem for them. They're keeping up in farm. Jinx and Lulu are able to, but I think they could be applying a little more pressure. Oh, there's the pressure. Leo's going to get in there with the Zenith Blade.
And nothing else will be happening from that, though. So, yep, Luna. Also, something else to not really worry about is you are bottom lane. Yes, they have a Lulu, but it's not really hard CC like Leona brings to the table. So if Kha'Zix does decide to come down on there, Leona and Caitlyn are going to be close enough that he won't get the solo Q damage. So you don't really have to worry too much about that part of it. And then she'll have the net, Leona will have the stun, and then they can just walk away from the bug like nothing had happened. So they're kind of pretty safe against Kha'Zix for now anyway. But once he starts getting like that level 6 and does a lot more damage, then you're going to have some problems by being that far pushed up.
Yeah, well, keeping the pressure on has allowed Potato to be pushing this lane really, really well and keeping Jinx off the farm, which is really what you want to do. If you shut down a Jinx, set yourself up for a fantastic late game, and that's exactly what LK is looking to do. Saving up the headshots, using them on minions though, not trying to harass too hard, just keeping the farm a little bit out of range. And meanwhile, Vi is going to be running up towards Gragas once again, looking for something.
Yeah, and as you had said on top lane right here, Squirtle is just beating him down. Tower dive coming out, he does get the ignite, does get the stun and Q, and will just dash out. So after a nice slice in, he will be dicing out and get first blood.
Yeah, that was a nice slice, nice dice, and nice ignite, and wow, that was a good first blood. But meanwhile, down in the bot lane, Vi is going to be rotating as well as, well, Floppy Pancake's going up towards the mid and try to push that out as well, or is he? He's going straight to Wraith Camp. Now Vi's looking to dive on this. She's not quite 6 yet, though.
No, Vi really needs to wait till 6 to bring in a lot of tower diving
I
potential.
think Potato's getting a little thirsty because they see how low Jinx is, a little less than half health thanks to Caitlyn poke. Jinx hasn't been forced to go back yet, but she has had her farm reduced. There's now a total of, I think, 13 disparity, and now they're looking to dive, but Vi doesn't quite get the angle she wants and backs out.
Vi really needs to get in the jungle, get 6, go back down bot lane, and just bash them down with that ultimate.
Yeah, they're doing really good work on the bot lane though. Potato is managing to run the table so far, and they're allowing the turret to take a lot of the shots on the minions of their own waves, so they're keeping Jinx off of it. And that's really helping them to stay a little bit ahead. They don't actually have to get kills because of that.
Yeah, they're not going to be too concerned about trying to get all the kills right out the gate. They're going to be more of farm up, and then, because I definitely think they have a lot better of a stronger quote-unquote late game, give or take. It depends how tanky Renekton's going to get, is really what a lot of it
it
will
looks
be
like
based on.
Gragas is going to roam along with Kha'Zix. They're looking for this bloody bot lane. They want it really, really bad, but I think Kate and Leona are going to get out fine. They saw it just in time.
Leona will be going back in with a Zenith Blade and a nice use of the passive for Caitlyn to drop the bug below a quarter of health.
Yeah, and a Master Taz taken very, very low by the blue buff, but is giving it to Ziggs anyways, and I think very, very soon we'll start seeing some assault and batteries landing in, but meanwhile the bot lane is uncontested.
Yeah, that's when Vi is really going to start making a scary presence in this whole game, is the assault and battery phase of the game, and then that's when this party can really start getting rolling for both of the junglers.
Well, the party's already started up in top lane. Vaporizer taking a lot of shots from Squirtle, who's outscaling him nicely, also out-farming him. That extra kill is helping out quite a bit, but Wukong can really do nothing but clone away there, and Renekton continuing pressure on the top lane, and Kha'Zix can't really afford to go up there. Vaporizer now taking really low, and ooh, he's diving!
He is going to dive. The ultimate does come out from Wukong, so does an Ignite, but Squirtle still has the ultimate, and will just turn into a big crocodile of death and decay.
I think he's okay with that. He doesn't need to get the kill. He's going to shove on this tower, and he has no competition for the time being. This is exactly what Potato want. They're going to be able to take a slow, methodical game and not fall prey to that snowball effect, because Kha'Zix really didn't get the kills he needed in the first 5 minutes. Early first blood actually went to Potato. I mean, they're doing really well.
Yeah, they're doing a well job here. This is kind of one of the reasons why you stopped seeing Wukong go top. It's just for that reason right there. Where someone like a Wukong, or not a Wukong, a Renekton, and quote-unquote Aurelia, before, she gets nerfed again. Wukong was just having problems against those type of champions, but he does do a very good job against ones like Vlad and Teemo, so he does have those trade-offs. He normally does a lot better against AP champions on top than the bruisers.
Yeah, he's a very specific counter pick, like a lot of top laners that aren't those big tanky bruisers. And I think Renekton, as a result of it, is going to just be able to outscale him. Now, Vi's going really far for Gragas, but forces the flash out of Frederick, and wow, his Exalt takes him out! Nice job!
Boom! Oh, didn't even think about that. We do have two ultimates that are quote-unquote across-the-map ultimates that are both scary big bombs and a rocket of death.
And they both have the word mega in them, which means they're like at least 20% cooler.
One's super mega death rocket and the other one's mega inferno bomb, right? Yep, Mega
I'm pretty
Inferno
sure the
Bomb.
same person wrote the text for both of them.
I'm
And now it
pretty
looks
sure
like looks like Potato's gonna go for Dragon. They're gonna get it really handily unless Kha'Zix has something to say about it, but I don't think he wants to risk his life for a little bit of global gold.
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the same person did both characters. And because originally Ziggs and Jinx were actually supposed to be one Yordle that rides a motorcycle. One threw grenades and the other one shot a bazooka, and he just split them apart and made two champions.
Alright, well I need to find the rider that was responsible for that idea and go buy them a drink.
Haha! Good old drinks. Especially for the Stone IPA, right?
Oh dude, it's my favorite. When I live in San Diego I can get it all the time.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, enough about that for the time being. Top lane's a bit of a harass fest once again, but Squirtle taking the bad end of that. Now Vaporizer clearing off the lane, and meanwhile down in bot, it's being pushed real hard once again. Dr. Carey and LK17 looking for blood on this Jinx.
Yes, so if you're gonna go look in mid lane, besides the Mega Inferno Bomb that Gragas just kind of stood there and ate with his face, they're doing a pretty good job, and they were even on farm for just a couple seconds, and then Gragas just went 2 ahead. And now
yeah,
Ziggs is 1 ahead.
He's keeping up really well. That one death notwithstanding, I think he's been able to keep up well in lane. They both have good poke potential, but now Master Taz is coming out into here. Is she going to die for the ult? No, I don't think so. That tower is a little too high on health for her to risk it. Meanwhile, Kha'Zix is looking for Squirtle, but he's not going to find anything but a real big mean alligator up there.
And he's taunting him. The Squirtle is taunting him the whole time. He knew he was there, and he just kept eating it. Solar
Good
Flare
flash out
did
of
it.
Jinx to get out of that one, but it looks like it may just be a little bit too little. They're hanging around this turret with no Master Taz is coming in. They're going to take it, and they're going to force them off the farm. Meanwhile, Gragas is going to come towards the bot lane, but Ziggs has already alerted LK17, Taz, and Carey to their presence, and I think they're not really worried about it.
Yeah, they really don't need to be worried too much here. Ziggs is going to get caught by the Gragas and the Kha'Zix right now.
Yeah, he's a little bit out there. He does have to flash away, and that might be enough to save him. Satchel Charge being very, very useful right there. Another great utility for him. And this is another reason that Ziggs is such a fantastic mid laner, despite not being incredibly mobile.
Yeah, that was, like they said, one of the things he had. If you know how to use the Satchel Charge correctly, you can essentially get over about 75% of these walls. There's a few that you can't, like the race wall, but that big long one into mid lane. But besides that, you can literally get over almost any wall if you know how to do it correctly.
Yeah, you can practice those in customs. I used to try that with Nidalee, and it would be the silliest thing, dude. It was like, you ever see someone just completely fail jump over walls?
Oh,
just
you
like
mean like
over
Faker?
and over and over.
Faker?
Yeah, dude. The Faker jump? Oh yeah.
The Faker jump. Here we got a Vi coming in on mid now.
Ooh, just misses. She does get the Assault Battery out. Frederick's taken really low, but Vi's knocked back into turret.
The Mega Inferno Bomb does get hit, and an Ignite was on Frederick in time, so that will finish him up. And the Super Mega Death Rocket just barely misses by
That would have got Taz too. Man, and you know, it was actually a bouncing bomb that ended up finishing Gragas. That was such a close fight. It could
Meanwhile, top
a
lane.
Jinx. Oh
Top
yeah,
lane
sorry,
also.
I forgot. The action in the mid was so intense, I forgot that Squirtle just took out Wukong once again. Vaporizer is having a little bit of trouble up there, but Kha'Zix has to defend mid right now. It's looking a little bit rough for Barenaked Linas.
Yeah, it's looking a little rough. So, the irony of that name that I just realized is Squirtle. Squirtle is a turtle, right? Crocodiles are reptilian, and turtles are reptilian. So, is that what Squirtle would have been named if he was a crocodile?
You know, I might have some straws in my back pocket you can grasp at, but we'll go with it.
Maybe also he could have been called himself Frilligator. That would have worked too.
Actually, that would have been really cool. I played Gen 2.
Don't be Gen 2's the best one. Gen 2's the best one.
Isn't Twitch Plays Pokemon now doing Silver?
Are they doing? No, did they actually finally win?
I think they might have. I'm not entirely certain, but a lot of them have been popping up. Anyways, Squirtle is going to do a lot of damage to that tower. Almost takes it down. Minions are going to get it in the end, and meanwhile, everybody else from Linas is going to be pushing down. Excuse me, Potato is going to be pushing down and stealing the red buff of the Barenaked Linas.
I can count the Potato.
Well, yes, of course. Of course you
Yeah,
can.
I know. But as we saw originally, also in part of that mid excitement, one of the reasons why diving a Gragas will sometimes quote-unquote be bad is for that reason right there. With that ultimate, he was able to split him, and he was able to get Vi, Master Taz, pushed quite deep into that tower. If he didn't have Flash, he would have died to tower shots there. So that is one of the disadvantages of tower diving a Gragas.
Yeah, it really showed, and so low Taz was taken by that, and he almost would have got, Jinx almost would have got him with the rocket. I mean, it's hard to launch those downtown shots, but, you know, do as much as they might, they're getting slowly scaled out, and Floppy Pancake just hasn't quite been the presence that the Barenaked Linas have needed this game. And wow, Mega Inferno Bomb's gonna get him! Ooh,
Mega
Aesthetic.
Inferno Bomb, very nice by the Ziggs, and he does pick up a free blue buff from that.
Yeah, fantastic work. I mean, Aesthetic, good presence. He didn't even have a ward on it. He just threw a blind Mega Inferno, and what a fantastic shot. Ziggs has been doing great. He's gotten 3 of those kills. He's gotten all 3 of his kills just by doing stuff like that.
Maybe we will finally get to see a Mega Inferno kill for the Jinx, because she is 0-0-0 right now, but she does have 100 farm. Essentially, as much as I hate to say it, you really do need the ADCs and how much, like, they're important is into play here, but it's just, I hate saying you need to rely on an ADC to win a game for you.
Well, I don't mind it. That's usually what I mean, but they're going to need a little bit more than Fed ADC at this point. I think Barenaked Linas has got to start getting grouping together and forcing a fight, because they can catch 1 or 2 of Potato out. I think they can manage to pick up a kill, and it's really rough to do, but because they're roaming so hard, they should be able to. Now, Renekton's by himself. They could give up the dragon and go for him, even though he's the tank. Squirtle does have 2 kills, and I think they could then force a nice team fight, but instead, they're just kind of dancing around and attempting to maybe steal it, but they really weren't there in time to do it.
No, but definitely, as you said, they do need to be doing a team fight, quote-unquote, right now. Basically, what you need is, you need the monkey to go in, stealth in, ultimate, and then you need I Love Penis, haha, I Love Penis, to drop his ultimate on top of Wukong for the double knockup, and then Gragas lands a very nice key ultimate that he would need, like on the Ziggs itself, push the Ziggs into your team, and Vi's gonna come with you. So then you take their 2 big main threats, Vi and Ziggs, get them real close and kill them as fast as possible, and then be able to clean up and get the Renekton and the Caitlyn. And then Leona is just Leona, and she won't be able to stop a team from pushing.
Yeah, Jinx is playing a really dangerous game right now. She's betting on Kha'Zix coming in here, but wow, forcing the whole Lulu ult already. Assault and battery lands on her. She's taken extremely low. Gragas trying to get him out of range. Wow, this team fight has gone real crazy real fast.
Yeah, the Mega Inferno Bomb was just a little short. Gragas will finish up and get a body slam to kill the Jinx in time. So she does finally catch her sister and put that dirty scoundrel back into jail. But yeah, the red buff wasn't enough for Vi to finish up and kill Jinx.
Yeah, that was a 1-for-1 trade, which is, of course, you know, normally would be even, but that's your AD carry exchanged for their jungler. And right now, Barenaked Linas are so far behind that they can't actually make trades that are even. They have to start getting way ahead. And Wukong, just a little bit out of position, could get caught on this one, but I think he's going to be able to dash out of here before Squirtle can kill him. Actually uses that little clone ability of his to get out of there without any damage. Aesthetic, meanwhile, going to push top with Renekton.
Yeah, it's, what they have the advantage. They need to start using it. They need to get these lanes, start pushing them up, keep doing what they need, and then possibly go for a Baron if they happen to catch somebody out, like they did catch Jinx out there, and then go get that Baron.
Now they have managed to take a couple of dragons. Baron would probably put them in a really difficult to contest position, but there are still tier 2 turrets on every lane. So they're still up 1 tier and have that much more freedom of the map, warding just about everywhere, but they're a little overconfident. Squirtle, as big as he is kind of out here in the enemy jungle. He can take red, but if at least 2 or 3 of the Barenaked Linas were to converge on him, it would be really hard for him to get out alive. Meanwhile, Vi is going to go down towards the bot and put a little bit more pressure on this Jinx and Lulu that have had a rough game already.
Yeah.
Ooh, there goes Leona. Solar Flare lands onto Jinx, taken really low already. And before the ace in the hole even goes off.
And down goes Jinx again. She is not having a very good time, and she just cannot seem to catch a break when she is on parole right now.
Yeah, I think she just got put back in the slammer for another 30 seconds, but Lulu couldn't really do much there. I hate to say it, it's just they're scaling a little bit too hard. And now that Vi's kind of on the up and up, we've got Caitlyn with a couple of assists. She doesn't have to be big. They don't need the AD carry when they've got all these other big bruisers dealing a lot of damage. And, you know, this bot lane turret is kind of just got his days are numbered.
Yes, that was also something else looking at this team that I was thinking of, is that Caitlyn really doesn't need to be the carry of this game. She just is there to push down some towers and deal a little bit of damage and land some nice ace in the holes. The other part of the Piltover Finest, the better half of it, will be what essentially is going to work out here with the Renekton. You're going to have Jinx and Renekton. Not Jinx, Vi and Renekton. Both big, tanky bruisers here. Kha'Zix's trying to do something. Kha'Zix will take a lot of damage from the minefield itself and get nothing out of that. But yeah, as we said, Cheese, Vi, and Renekton will essentially be able to do a lot by themselves for how fat and much damage they can still do at the same time. And then Caitlyn just sits in the back and just auto-attacks.
Yeah, I think it's they're gonna have to try something way different here. Barenaked is just, they're falling behind on every one of these trades, and they've just kind of let the gold lead really just roll out there thanks to the Dragons Global and the towers that Potatoes have managed to get. And Dr. Carey, even though he's been a little bit caught out there, they really can't capitalize. Barenaked is just not able to jump on this. They're so low and cautious at this point that any engage is probably going to be started by getting carried by Potato.
Yeah, and as we will see in the chat there, Kha'Zix, Floppy Pancake there, is complaining about a plat player being in the tournament, in a silver tournament. That is one thing that is allowed, is only one high-ranking ELO person, and that's their one high. The Jinx ultimate coming out with his Mega Inferno Bomb. Lulu ultimate would be coming out. The Wukong ultimate is going to be spinning at the same time. He will eat a point-blank
There's a
ace in the
rocket, it
hole.
almost kills Taz!
The rocket almost does put away that dirty Piltover detective, but not enough to finish it up in time. The down goes the Lulu because of a nice, very Zenith Blade, but Ziggs is still picking up all these kills right now, and Ziggs will be picking up a triple kill of that game, and Caitlyn did happen to die also.
So
yes.
that was a fantastic trade. They gave up LK17, who of course really doesn't have any kills, just the assists, and even though kind of been a really mean lane farming machine all game, but they got 4 of the Barenaked Linas for it. Only Kha'Zix stayed alive. Floppy Pancake able to jump out of there. But this is looking really, really dire right now for the Barenaked Linas. They need to defend just about everywhere. And, even though they've already come back up, it's getting really hard to do. At this point, if I'm Potato, I'm Baroning.
Yeah, this is when you can start using that advantage now, is maybe look at pushing up mid a little bit more. Push up mid. Maybe if you catch someone out in the middle of the mid fight, then you can go and do it. Hopefully you really want it to be Jinx. If you can catch out Jinx, you can definitely go in, go do Baron, and not have the threat of a Mega Inferno rocket. Or Super Mega Death Rocket, that's what it is. Super Mega Death Rocket coming in and popping you in the back.
Yep, absolutely. Now, it's really hard to see how the Barenaked Linas can get an angle on this. I mean, they have a chance. They're not out until all the towers in the Nexus falls. Well, not all the towers, but until the Nexus falls, they're still not quite out of it. But they need to make something happen. Vaporizer could run in here and attempt for the Dragon Steel, but they're going to have a Smite War, and they need Kha'Zix for that. Now, the rocket from Jinx goes out a little bit early, but does discourage the Dragon, and this might be the chance they're looking for. But Vaporizer, if he goes out a little bit too far, he's going to be caught between Dr. Carey and Taz. This is bad. Oh, nope. Nice little clone.
That was right there, is they needed to go in on...
They got me too, man.
Yeah. They needed to go in on Leona and Renekton right there. They had Lulu, they had Wukong. Use them both. Use your ultimates to what you're supposed to be doing that for. Another Dragon will be falling for Red Team, so something needs to happen.
Gragas almost stole it. He had to blow his ultimate, and unfortunately didn't quite get it in time, but that was really close. I mean, when you're trying to ultimate steal a Dragon, it's pretty dire straits, but if they'd have pulled it off, it would have been real nice.
Yeah, but as you were saying, they need to think about doing something here and come back into this game. I mean, Kha'Zix's only level 11, so he is quite behind. He does have his second evolution, though, so he does have the wings and he does have the claws, which is quite a nice help. But as you said, they need to catch somebody out. They should have caught out Renekton and Leona there with the ultimates of Lulu and Wukong. And while Lulu is about to die here, she will die to the Ziggs. Jinx is now getting jumped on by Vi. Vi will not be able to pick up these kills in time. Vi will die to Jinx.
Well done by Jinx, but meanwhile, Vaporizer's getting vaporized.
Yes, the dirty Yordle.
I couldn't resist, I'm sorry.
Ah!
Alright. In any case, so that was decent. Barenaked still lost a couple in that one and took Jinx extremely low, but they took out Master Taz. The problem is these team fights are really hard to predict. They're so spastic, and they've really just started with 1 or 2 people getting caught, and they ended in an epic 5v5, but the long short of it is that Potato's still pushing the spot lane and pushing it really hard. Meanwhile, Renekton is up in the top causing havoc too.
You need to kill Ziggs. Ziggs should be their #1 priority right now. He's 7-0-1. He's just dropping a ton of damage.
And he's, and look at his build too. He doesn't even need those tier 2 boots, man. He's got a Death Cap, an Athene's, a Void Staff. I mean, this is a big mid carry right now.
He's also doing a very good job staying way back like he's supposed to be doing, so that's actually one thing he's doing quite well, is sitting in the back, not getting touched. Where
well, he has a fantastic tank line. I mean, you've got Leo to start off the fight. You've got Vi to also start off the fight. You've got Renekton, who can go in there and just be a big scary alligator. They haven't even needed him a lot of these fights. The tank line from Potato is just huge. And right now, I don't really see anything coming out comparatively, because Wukong can be tanky, but he's not really a true tank. Gragas can be tanky, not really a true tank. Lulu can be sort of tanky, but not a true tank. There are 3 true tanks.
Kha'Zix can be tanky too, not a true tank also.
Yeah, but he does do really well in the assassin role. And the problem is they relied on early game burst, and well, they got bursted instead.
They little bit of a slight disadvantage here. Wukong, in all honesty, probably should have hurried up, got that a damage item. You double pen on the monkey is literally all the damage you will need on a monkey to be able to do any damage. You get the Black Cleaver, get the Last Whisper, done. Cool, your passive should be enough. You tank into the 21 points into the tree, get that additional armor, and magic resist. Because
seems like he's been a bit indecisive on his builds, though. I mean, he's got the... He did pick up the Vamp Scepter and the Pickaxe, and that indicates he's probably going to build a Last Whisper, but it looked like he might have been going for a Bork or a Bloodthirster. Likely the Bork, and he just decided midway through, I'm not quite going to finish that just up. So he's been a little indecisive, and I think that's cost him too. But the 4 kills, 2 or 3 of which he suffered in the early game top lane, haven't really helped out much either, and it does make you wonder why the Wukong top pick might have been a bit of a flub.
Also, I don't know why he has lifesteal. You really don't need it on Wukong, because mainly your main damage source is going to come from spells, not even auto attacks there. So
well,
that's
I think the idea was to peel off some of that health if you could outpoke Renekton, but it did seem to have backfired. Now, meanwhile, shoving down the mid lane, we got 4, and Renekton's up in the top as well. So this is a split push. This is a very, very effective split push. They've been doing it a good chunk of the game.
Wukong needs to go in right now. Dash in, get the ultimate. Lulu needs to be there. Gragas not come back, and then the Super Mega Death Rocket needs to get hit. They need to just do a huge ulti-wombo combo right now, and they're just not doing that. That's what their team is built on, is ulti-wombo combo, and they're not using it.
Yeah. Well, they did jump in a little bit, but they're unfortunately on Dr. Carey. Not really the best choice, and I'll let you take it away on this one.
The monkey is going to sit there and spin, but it won't be enough. The Super Mega Death Rocket will pick him up in time, or will pick up the Leona, and then Leona will be killing the Wukong at the same time. Caitlyn almost did fall there also, but no one else seemed to commit when Wukong went in there. They really just need to all go in as a team.
They were pretty indecisive, and it was nice to watch, though. I was watching Leo, fend off Wukong, and I'm not even noticing that the Jinx ult got launched, and I'm just watching, and all of a sudden a giant rocket explodes, and I jumped out of my chair half an inch.
And it was also kind of funny, too, because when the rocket did land, the Wukong fell at the exact same time, so it actually looked like the rocket killed both people. So, little irony there at that part there.
Jinx the Suicide Bomber, next skin?
Yes.
I don't know. That's probably bad PR for Riot.
And let's just send it to Turkey first, see how it works out there.
Yep. Anyways, mid lane is going to be shoved up again. LK17, despite the low kill count, hasn't really had too much trouble continuing to farm up, and you can really see the difference that a little bit of farm makes, even though Jinx has got 2 kills. The difference in farm and how much pushing pressure that LK has been able to apply most of this game has meant that she's already a couple of items ahead, has that PD, she's working towards a Last Whisper, hasn't quite picked it up yet, but Jinx is really kind of into just 2 items, hasn't even picked up the static ship yet. And that just goes to show how much they were shut down in lane. Floppy Pancake taken really low in the top lane there.
Yeah, the Renekton showing that he is a force here. I mean, he has 285 farm. He's the highest farm champion in this game. No one's been touching him. They've just been left him alone all game. And he is just going down the armor route right now, and essentially that's a good pick. All he needs to do is really worry about Gragas, and Gragas isn't that big and scary right now, so he's okay with that build. I mean, he gets a Maul of Matorius later on in the game, he'll be set. But I don't even know if he'll get that far into the game for him.
Well, he's already got already of course got the Ravenous Hydra and that Sunfire Cape doing a lot of damage. I actually don't know what he's going to be building up with the Giant's Belt. The Warden's Mail indicates he's probably going to go towards, if it gets to it,
he's getting a Rudons.
Frozen Heart?
No, he's getting a Rudons.
Oh, there you go. Now, again, this continued split pressure seems to be working out overall. Big Inferno Bomb's going to zone Gragas away. Frederick taking extremely low and is going to have to body slam back towards his own base. And actually, they got sort of a weird hybridized thing here because Renekton was pushing top and then he goes back mid. Meanwhile, Caitlyn goes down bottom and shoves this bot turret and just so much pushing power. Frederick's going to chase her off, but it's really not going to matter. They've already got half the damage on the turret. And they're just keeping this pressure up, not giving an inch to the Barenaked Linas. They could Baron so easily right now because they're just expecting continuous pressure.
Yeah, this is exactly what they need to do. They're doing a very good job on it. Renekton can push very well. Caitlyn can push very well, but you don't want either one of them to be by themselves because the whole team will jump on them. So what you do is you keep this big scary presence for people in mid lane. Renekton goes up. Renekton's going to push it as far as he can. They send maybe 2 people over to Renekton. Okay, cool. Renekton slides over, and then Caitlyn slides down to the bot, as you just saw right there, and then Caitlyn starts pushing, and then when she comes back, Renekton could do the whole little trick and go back down bot lane and push up a little bit more. Or push up top, since top had started pushing up a little bit. That is the 5th dragon to go to red team for their advantage. And so they've definitely just been taking the dragons. But yeah, as they need to just keep doing this. They need to keep doing this cycle. Keep 4 in mid and let Renekton push one lane, come back when it's pushed up, and let Caitlyn go back down to bot and do the same thing over and over and over. Because they're basically big enough they can 4v5 right now.
Yeah, they managed to push it all the way to the inhib turrets on every lane. And now they're actually just going to go to Baron. Consequences be damned. They've only got 3 on it right now, but it really doesn't matter. Ziggs is able to zone out Gragas, who is, I think, the only person even in the area. Kha'Zix's on his way there, but not quite. Jinx is going to attempt the rocket steal, but doesn't quite get it there. A little bit too early. Does some damage to Master Taz, but he's taking just fine. Here comes Kha'Zix to try to steal.
We are going to see a big fight here. Kha'Zix will drop to Master Taz. The Baron is still up. The Baron is dying now to them. Floppy Pancake will be saying in all chat, see ya, because he did get instantly nuked and dropped like a bad habit there.
Yeah, it was a good attempt. I mean, he came in a little bit too early on it. He might have been able to smite steal it, and that could have put the Barenaked Linas in a little bit of a better position to take this. But now with the Baron, Dr. Carey, I think, leading this front line, Squirtle and Master Taz on it as well. I think this is going to be a dead inhibitor pretty soon, if not an ace. This is going to be a really tricky fight for Barenaked to take.
Yeah, they, seeing the ultimates coming out now. The Mega Inferno Bomb landing on 3 people, but a nice ultimate from Gragas. Down goes the Vi in time, but they will be picking up. Yes, the Taz will be dropping.
Right into the inhibitors. Wow, they're diving deep. Squirtle jumping all over the fountain, eats half his health. Dr. Carey has to get a little bit out of there. Wow, they lost Vi for that one. They did take out Vaporizer and I Love Penis. And okay, manages to take out Kha'Zix as well. So down to just Jinx and Gragas here. This is going to be really tough for them to defend. Aesthetic knocks down the other turret. They're on the doors. This could be the game right here.
This is going to be the game most likely here. Caitlyn is going to just start auto-attacking turrets. She will take a lot of damage right there from Fred, but Fred will eat just as much, and Fred will be dropping. Jinx trying to do something now, but it won't be enough. Dr. Carey with that shield that she gets, she's just too danky, and Caitlyn finishes up the game with some very nice auto-attacks, and that is the game. Apparently, Floppy Pancake is saying that the other team is 1 diamond, 2 platinums, and 3 golds. That seems a little high.
We can talk about the ELO stuff at another point too. I think we actually have been reworking a little bit of our rules to try and make this possibly a little more fair. But we'll bring you guys back to that on a little bit. And I think that was, despite any potential ELO differences, that was a pretty solid game all around. It did snowball out of control for the Barenaked Linas, but they stayed in it. Kudos to them. It's not easy to play from behind. I've been in a lot of solo queues and seen a lot of FFs, but yeah, good game to them, and congratulations to Get Carried by Potato. They're moving on to the next round of our Silver 5v5s.
Yeah, as we are going to see, though, Farm essentially won them a lot of this game. Also, Caitlyn's at 255. Vi was only at 70, though, which is quite surprising. She was actually quite far behind there. A little surprising, actually, to see that. Renekton is at 311, and Ziggs is at 280. And so, essentially, you take those 3 champions, and they're higher than everyone else on the enemy team, just by 3 champions alone, because Vi barely doesn't do anything, and then with the Relic Shield, they only got 36 farm. So, really not all that much. So, 3 people, essentially, farmed that game up, and I don't want to say won it, because Leona does have the inert tankiness that you said, and Vi does too, with that free shield that she gets.
Yeah, I think it was a very slow, methodical game, and Linas just kind of got pushed back and back and back, and they really weren't given an inch. It was tough for them to start, and the picks were really one of the things that did them in. They got pretty much outpicked at just about every lane. Mid lane I think was fairly even, but that was where Vi focused a lot of early game pressure, and that forced Gragas back, allowed Ziggs to pick up a nice 2 early kills with his ultimate, and that was really solid work all around. So I think at this point, it really came down to don't overextend, don't push too far, apply pressure constantly, ease up, and then push back on them once they start overextending again. And that was the strategy that worked wonders for Get Carried by Potato.
Yeah, this there was definitely, like you said, the mid lane was, I think, the most even lane out of all of them. They were doing a very good job, and then Vi, as you said, showed her presence, did what she needed to do, and then that let Ziggs win it. Ziggs ended up 7, and he
Yep.
finally did pick up those level 2 boots.
It doesn't matter which carry you feed one of them, and you're probably going to have a good game. So, with that, we'll bid you guys adieu. I hope you enjoyed the cast, and we'll bring you the next one in just a moment. But stay tuned.
See you guys later.